Welcome back to 10 Cents Podcast. I'm your host, Robbie, and across from me in a much clearer view is Dusty Nixon. And it's just us this week because Adam is going to great lengths to not do a podcast with us. If you are friends with him on Facebook, you are aware that he fell off a ladder or jumped off a ladder. He knew we were doing a podcast today and just didn't want to do it. So poor guy spent 2 days in the hospital just so he could call in and say, sorry guys, can't do a show. But legitimately, he's got a fractured back. So he's got some recovery time.
Yeah. Yeah. We're glad that it wasn't worse than it was because, falling off a ladder is no bueno, no matter what height you do it from.
Nope. So 3 foot, 6 foot, 12 foot. It's not good. It can go bad real fast. So I'm genuinely glad it's not as bad as it could have been because I know people have fallen off ladders, hit their heads, and we're never saving them again. So thank God that didn't happen. Hopefully he's back next week or next time we do a show, next month or year or whatever. But
everyone's favorite quarterly, weekly podcast.
It's fine. Yes. It's fine. We get to it when we get to it. Your refund's in the mail. But
so we have to Top Gear this, right?
Right. Moving on. We did have kind of some topics planned, but we don't want to do topics without three people, so we're just catching up. Because I've just been doing stuff. I had a weekend alone because my wife went and visited her sister and family in the Missouri Ozarks area, and that meant I took a day off of work and spent 3 days at home by myself, and it was fucking great.
Just me and the dogs.
Me and the dogs. But let's open this up because I feel like you have a hot opinion about something.
I have very hot opinions about, for people that aren't watching, I'm holding in my hand one of our beloved cans of Liquid Death flavored sparkling water. Something we've come to know and love on this show, right?
Yes, it's a staple in my beverage fridge and my cooler at the racetrack. Or the fridge in the garage. There's always Liquid Death in this house.
Yeah. So as the official flavored water podcast, I think we can still call ourselves the official flavored water podcast, even though it's been a while since we've had a journalistic review of many of these offerings in the marketplace. But
we should really do that more because ever since moving to this house, I have a full size fridge upstairs in our, I guess it's like the landing area where the big TV is. And so I just keep that stocked. So anytime I go to like Meijer or Walmart or Kroger, I go and look for different types of sparkling water. So I've tried everything this year. So we should definitely get back into like telling each other go get this, and then we'll talk about it.
Yep. So yeah, the thing that I've always liked about Liquid Death was it was just water with like, it wasn't LaCroix. It wasn't like what was it? It drove beside a truck of lemons on the way to the grocery store. Was that what the determination was that the flavor?
It's when you take a drink of LaCroix and then whatever the flavor on the can is, someone in the other room is yelling, "Cherry!" And that's the amount of flavor that you get.
Or possibly whispering cherry.
There is that. Oh yeah, now that you mention it.
So I noticed a while back I got, because it's always come in giant cans, like 16 something ounce, like tall boy cans.
Yep, not anymore.
Like big boy cans. And I noticed a while back that we got some, and it was only in a 12 ounce, a normal size, very pedestrian looking can. So I got some whenever I was at Road America, because that's what you do whenever you're going to be at the racetrack. And I cracked one open and took a drink of it. And I think maybe I had gotten one a while back, and I thought to myself, this tastes different, but I can't put my fingers on it. And then so the ones at Road America, I was for sure like, this is not the same thing. It's like way more sweet and lime, because the lime one is what I go for.
That's the staple. Yes.
Yeah. Like if I'm drinking, whenever I'm down here, I drink Topo Chicos all the time, and they have a flavored lime one.
Yeah, with the mint, it's so good.
So that's my go-to. And I got the lime ones. I'm like, it's sweeter. It's more lime. I don't know what's taking place. I don't know. It's 7:30 at night. I've been running around like crazy all day. This tastes good either way. So, the week after I get back, we go to Costco and there's a giant variety of 24 cans of this at Costco. Yeah. All right. I'm in 24 pack for like $19 or something like that. Like less than $1 a can for Liquid Death. That's
Totally fair.
fairly solid. Get home, get them cold, crack one open. I'm like, I know this is different. I think so the one I have here is the Squeeze to Death, which is the orange flavor. And it's just something's different about it. I can't quite put my finger on it. I know that aftertaste. What is that aftertaste? This didn't used to have an aftertaste. So I turn the can around and I'm looking through here and I see stevia leaf extract.
Motherfuckers changed the recipe.
And I go and I look at the case that it was in. And, it used to just say sparkling water. It's going to murder you. There's a hatchet behind you. There's just all of well, now it says, you won't believe it's not soda.
Does it really say that now?
Yes.
God damn it.
It says sparkling water soda alternative or something like that. Like they've completely changed their thing and they're going after people that are just trying to not be fat by drinking Cokes.
Well, I knew they were kind of doing that when they did the cola flavored one, which is terrible, and the root beer one, which is also terrible, and the Dr. Pepper one, which is terrible.
Yeah. So, and I need to look into it and find out, like, I feel like they got bought by some venture capital thing, or maybe I think the whole thing was just a venture capital thing to begin with. But I feel like the whole thing originally was aimed at making fun of the hyper masculine energy drink stuff. And then now they have an energy drink.
Yep. I haven't seen that yet, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in stores, but I've seen that they're doing it. So.
Well, I did notice that in the last couple of years that the flavor has definitely gotten more pronounced. The lime is still, I'd say that one hasn't changed the most. I'd say that's probably the most consistent one that I've had. That's, again, I agree with you. It has changed in the last few years, but it's not dramatic. But there's more lime flavor. There's more to it. The big one is the serial killer one, the Fruity Pebbles flavored one.
Ooh.
That one is almost soda levels of flavor. It's good. It's very good. However, it is not a sparkling water. It is a soda level flavor.
Yeah. To me, because I don't drink straight up soft drinks. No. Like hardly ever.
Like once a month, maybe.
Yeah. Whenever I do, it like twists my jaw because it's so sweet. And this tastes like just a straight up like Coca-Cola product to me.
Well, I did notice a lot of the sparkling waters like recently have kind of switched from like it was 0 calories and now it's like 5 calories, 10 calories. This one is, and like they're not 0 anymore because they've added bullshit to it. So yep. we're just gonna end up right back where we were with sodas, and then we're gonna have to like retract back to where we want to be.
Yep. Yeah. So. I've still got like 19 more of these to drink through, so I guess I'm going to suffer through it for a while because I'm not throwing them away.
No, of course not.
But
yeah,
yep.
I don't know. I've gotten picky in my old age, where it's like I don't want to drink that crap. Well, then like the spin drifts, they use real juice. Well, then it's like, well, it tastes weird. I don't want real. I want artificial.
Yeah, so it was weird because I'd seen a Facebook post from somebody that was talking about that they'd been drinking one of these that, that was proclaimed to be like a healthy, it was a water, but it was claimed to be like a thing to help you not drink like soft drinks.
Sure.
And they said like the exact same thing that had happened to this, and they just like quietly, like all of a sudden, but that one, the entire ingredients list changed and they said nothing about it.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of people chiming in, and like there was people on there that were like, "Oh no, you should try Liquid Death." And I'm like, no, it's not the same. Like,
you're too late.
Yeah, you missed the boat.
Well, yeah, it's crazy to me is that a lot of these like big brands are changing, and then you go to like the off-brand, like the American whatever, the one that Walmart sells. That's still 0 calories, nothing in it type drinks. So I don't know. I'm just gonna complain about water because that's where I'm at in my life.
Uh-huh. Yeah. If we can't yell at clouds and complain about water, what are we doing?
Exactly. I don't go to enough Grid Life to make posts and complain publicly about how awful Grid Life is. So I'll just complain about water.
Oh man.
I don't know. I maybe again I'm sick of the Facebook drama. So like even just anything just irks me. I'm just like I'm so annoyed by everybody. Everybody and everything.
I got to that point with the SCCA Cam autocross class.
I don't follow,
and I know, and the difference, like some of the Grid Life drama, I know it's been people that were at least at the event.
Yes.
So that's a leg up on where we were at in the Cam autocross drama because none of the people that were complaining about the wing rules for Cam T were actually ever going to any events. They were just complaining to complain.
That sounds about right. So that's so unlike the internet to overreact about something stupid.
Yeah, weird. Keyboard muscles.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you did Z things again, right?
Did we talk about that on the show?
Not Mido Part 2.
Man, I could have sworn we did.
We haven't recorded.
Yeah, we
since
did.
then.
Yeah, we did. Didn't we? I could have swore we did. Hold on, let me look. Episode 360.
Yeah, we did Road America.
No, we sure didn't. I didn't even save.
I didn't even save a picture.
I didn't even save a picture of it. You can tell. Yeah, you can tell how much I care. I don't have. Oh, there we go. There's a picture of my car, but that has nothing to do with Mid Ohio. There we go. We'll use that one.
The main thing I wanted to talk about that you had from that event was the Ohio region grid calls via text message.
Yep. So. Yeah, so I did a SCCA time trials, and basically what the local SCCA group did was I don't know if it was a majors weekend or whatever. It was a race weekend, obviously, on Saturday and Sunday, and they had a pretty good turnout. Like there's a lot of cars for like the paddock. Like legitimately, on Friday the paddock was almost as full as what the Grid Life was. Like there was that many cars. So that they did Friday was a time trials. And so they had two groups they called the racer group. And that was Spec Miatas, basically one whole class. And then the other one was like the Lolas and the Spec Racer Fords. I don't know if we want to call them like prototypes for lack of a better term.
Yeah, so basically door cars and
non-door
tiny cars.
Yeah, and then they had three groups: novice, intermediate, and advanced for their time trials groups, and then that broke out into like the 30 or whatever time trials classes they have. I don't think it's that many, but whatever.
I was max. Yeah,
I was max 4.
5 divisions of E. Yeah.
25. I was max 4 because I actually looked it up. But again, like only 2 people in my class. So and Max puts you against a GT3 and no, because they would have been like Max 2 or 1 or whatever. So like honestly, if you didn't put power down, a 350Z, I think the other one that was competing in that class was a stock 350Z, and he was a novice. Where was I going with that? But yeah, so I emailed the registration before we started because I was like, hey, I've run at time trials. I got a comp license with Grid Life. Like I'm not looking to compete really. I just want to get more seat time in my car, get more practice at Mid Ohio. Like I genuinely just want to be like the most unnoticed person here. like I just want to go run some laps, quietly by myself and not be a bother to anybody. What group do you want me to be in? Like, do you want me to be in the racer group, or do you want me to just do advanced and then figure out what my class is? And then he's like, yeah, you'll all of you do the advanced or whatever. I was like, okay, well, no problem. So then I show up, and of course my car looks like a race car. So I roll into, after do tech and all that, whatever. And then we go, because it's a 1-day event, so we get up at like 5 a.m. and just take off because we're only an hour and a half from the track. Get there in time to register, do tech, get all unloaded and ready for the driver's meeting by 8 o'clock. And then we do. I think we're the first group out, and I roll up to grid, and they.
No, this isn't your group. You gotta wait.
No. The thing was, so they did the racers right away, and then they did advanced, and I roll up, and like there's some Porsche. I don't think it was a GT3 car, and then it was like a couple of Corvettes and some really like arrowed out, clearly serious cars, and then like so the serious cars are clearly up front. And there's like 3 or 4 of them, and then like there's a Porsche hanging back and a Corvette hanging back, and they're like waving me by. I was like, come on, no.
It makes 220 horsepower.
Don't do this. No, man, race car. Like, no. You got double the horsepower, I promise.
GLTC.
Yeah, so I go out for the first session, and I think I was 5th in line with probably the least amount of horsepower of anyone in the class or in that group. But luckily enough, like we were spaced out far enough that I only had to like do a couple point buys before we kind of shook everything out. Actually, like shockingly, it wasn't chaotic at all. But I was like, I roll in and go, no, you go. And it's like a Canadian standoff, like, no, you go, and it's like, whatever. All right, I'll be pointing to buy in 2 laps.
I used to at Optima events, we would roll in and I'd be like, man, I don't know who a lot of these guys are, big power cars and stuff. And I would always line up further back, and then
realize you should have.
Like, oh, they make a lot of power, but they're not great drivers.
Yeah, and they're clearly not taking any chances, which is fine. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and then they set the time from the first session to do the grid order for the second. So then I'm having to like work through this stuff to try to get a clean lap in the second and third session, just to try to get something put together.
Yeah. So it was a single day event. You get 5 sessions. I think it was only like $400. Like I thought it was a really good price for track time versus dollar. And they did a rolling best lap. So like if you did whatever your best time was in lap session 1, session 2 is how they gridded you, and then if you did better, and then they regridded everybody for the next. It's like so they were constantly regridding, so you were always in the spot you were supposed to be, which I thought was really good. Which it's how you should do it, but that's I know it's a lot of work.
That's not always the easiest way to
right.
handle things, depending on how. Probably just comes down to how many people you've got working the event and keeping track of all of it. But
Yep. They seem to be pretty well staffed. Every group, so like advanced, novice, intermediate, had their own like air quote instructor or coach or whatever you want to call that person that would kind of do like a quick powwow after every session to make sure like, how did it go? Like, is there any problems? Like, do we need to talk about gapping or behavior or whatever? And like there wasn't any. Like everyone did a pretty good job of being where they should be and being polite.
Which one of the Mustangs or Corvettes failed to point all of the people by that they were holding? That's what the general post session debrief is.
Ours, in advance, it was not a problem. I can't speak to any of the other classes. The big drama was that on the first flying lap of the first session, a C8 ended up all the way into the barriers going into 8. Just all the way through the sand trap into the wall. And it's just like, man, that's fucked. Like, it was bad. He packed up and went home. Other than that, it was really uneventful from like an on-track standpoint. It was, 15-minute sessions. So that I felt like that went, it just done like that. Just you out there do
yeah.
like 3-4 laps, you're done. But it did give me a chance to kind of build up to it, push the car a little bit. I was on, my Nexans from 2 years ago that were toasted. Then there was just enough tread on there to justify doing one more event on them. Because I didn't want to use up my Kumos. The only drama I had of the day was that there was one car that I had kind of caught up to, and I don't know if he was just watching his mirrors, and he made like a mistake through turn 5 and 6, and then was pointing me by through turn 7, and then as I was about to like pass him, a groundhog was sitting on the apex. so then I like kind of swerve a little bit to not hit the groundhog, and then but like I'm like side by side next to this guy, and I think he thought I was like weaving into him, so like we had this whole like panic moment. So I found him after the session like, hey man, totally fucked that up. I should have just ran over that groundhog.
He shouldn't have. He got onto the track. He bought his ticket. He knew what he was getting into.
Yep. No, it was very much Formula One in Canada, just a big groundhog standing on the apex. I was not expecting that. The only thing was that like Jess and I were practicing using the radios because we hadn't done any of that yet. So I was just going over like basically the etiquette in which I want,
True.
information relayed, just practicing, just doing radio checks, like just nothing, especially on an event like this. I was like, just let me know if there's flag changes and where they're being changed, or like if there's a car on the side, or, just updates. Other than that, we'll just be quiet. I don't need a conversation while I'm out there.
We don't. What are you thinking for dinner tonight?
No, she did great. She legitimately, she was doing a good job of remembering what corners she was looking at. Giving me updates on flags. Basically I told her, I was like, pretend it's a race. So if you do see green, call it out as if it's the start of a race, or, just if there's a black flag or whatever, just kind of the level of urgency based on like what you're seeing. And it was good. It's like, I know she wants to be more involved like on the race weekend. So it was nice low pressure practice to just kind of get a feel for radio etiquette.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then
were they flagging it green on the back like they do for races? Yeah.
Yep. Technically both. I guess. No, I guess they were waving it green on the front straight for the start of the session.
Yeah.
But then they would also they would show the same flag on the back straight. So like when they would white flag it and checker flag it, they would mimic it basically. So you'd see it twice. But yeah, I mean it was well run event. Went fairly quickly. Just a single day event. So, get up at 5. Maybe I was up a little before that. But anyways, get there by 7. Be out of there by 4:30. Home by 7. Like it was a super easy day. Super easy day. The only real issue I ran into with the car, like the only thing I picked up throughout the whole day was the pressure gauge and the torque wrench. I didn't do a single bit of wrenching on the car. Should have, because I started the car up yesterday. I was like, this thing sounds like shit. Spark plugs were all junk. Just hot swapped them. Sounds great. So I just burned them up. I should have swapped them before the event. I was like, I'll get one more out of it, and whatever. So yeah, I was probably down on power realistically, just because it was running not great yesterday, but easy fix. The funny thing was they don't do any like first call, second call, final call. You get a text, or they do one announcement like for the next session. They're like, advanced, this is your only call to grid. And it's like, you need, like, it's now, go. We're starting in 10 minutes.
And then the text messages had some interesting flair to them.
Yep. So they would do the announcement. And then they would have like a very cheesy quote. So it would be like 2 sentences. Basically advance to grid right now. This is your only call to grid. And then it would be, if you're not first, you're last, or you can't win the weekend in the first corner, but you can certainly lose it. So like it was like every text had its own little like stereotypical, if you don't for, I guess they probably didn't say that one, if you don't go for a gap that doesn't exist. But it was basically just like the goofy reminders that people will say to like keep yourself in the game, like don't do something dumb, basically, was the takeaway.
Yeah, so I found the screen grab that you sent. So Intermediate Plus Racer 1, this is your only call to grid. Choose your course and stick to it. Changing your mind midstream will never get you anywhere. Okay, words to live by.
Yeah, that's fair.
Novice group, this is your only call to grid. Take it easy out there. Remember, nobody wins at practice. That's a lie. Or maybe winning at practice is more along the lines of like you can't win the 24-hour race on the first lap, but you can lose it. You can lose the HPDE. I'll have a story about that later.
Yep, we've been there.
Intermediate group, only call to grid. You can push hard. You can push hard to go fast, but keep all four on track. Don't be another brick in the wall.
I thought that was kind of funny considering how there was a car in the wall shortly before that.
Hopefully it wasn't a brick wall, maybe a tire wall, but let's see. Lunch break after intermediate. Watch for hot track updates. That's not very fun. Let's go. Okay. Racer 2 group. This is your only call to grid. And then this is the cherry on top of this whole thing here. Gas, or ass. Nobody time trials for free.
I mean, they're all true statements.
That one told me Ohio SCCA slightly different than Texas.
Yeah. Yep. It was a fun group to run with. There was a guy next to me. I think he drove all the way from like Arkansas or something. And I guess it was confusing because his truck had Vermont plates and his trailer had Arkansas plates. And I really didn't talk to him a lot to figure out where he was from. But yeah, they had a really good turnout on the people that were there. We got, like obviously a combination of racers that were practicing for the next day, and then a lot of, the group of time trialers, and then everyone just mingled really well. Really no on track issues that I could see, or off track issues, I guess. And then like we're rolling, like we wrap up at like three ish, and like. Jess keeps asking out there, like, how you doing? I was like, well, it's me and this other stock 350Z and Max 4. So yeah, I'm still winning. She's like, are we gonna stick around for the trophy? I was like, if they do it, the second the track goes cold, sure. I'm not waiting around for an hour or two for a trophy that's, as far as I'm concerned, a participation trophy. Yeah. And so they're like, we got one of the text messages that said, don't forget to bring your transponders back. Awards will be in the middle of paddock, by the garages at as soon
7:45.
No, it was like as soon as track's cold. So it was like 4:30, and I was like, okay, cool. We'll load up. We'll walk over there, and then whatever. And like we walked through the paddock, and like no one had congregated yet, and there was no clear indicator as to where they were meeting. So I was like, fuck this, I'm leaving. Like I'm not waiting a single minute. So, yeah, we just loaded up, and then I had my my Jim Wolf Technology package that got delivered to a FedEx pickup station, so I picked that up on the way home. So, like, we took the long way home to make sure I got that. Because, of course, it shows up on the one day I'm not at the house.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Because it was funny, like, I got the update on Thursday saying, like, FedEx delivery, 2-day, so, signature required, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool, Saturday. And then I get an update. It's out for delivery on Friday. I'm like, what? No, this was a 2-day, not overnight. I mean, I'm not mad about it, but just now I gotta get in the middle of it and say, hey, go drop it off at this pickup station so I can grab it. But
yeah, I like the idea of building time trials into the Friday test day like that.
I can see if you're like a very dedicated time trialer that you don't want your event to be a single day as like an afterthought. So like you just do Friday and then you leave while everyone else races the rest of the weekend. So I can see why people might not like having to take Friday off and then have the whole weekend left. But I really like it.
I have a counterpoint for them as someone who has run a time trial during a regular race weekend. That sucks ass. So. Yep. The thing about the race group here is like we did time trials with their events for a couple of seasons, and we were always shoved to the side. Like it just never. It seemed like if there's a delay during the day, where we're going to make that time up is during the time trial session.
Yeah, and
there was never. It's still baffling to me to figure out what, like, because I know SCCA club racing is not. I don't think it's growing.
If it's like the only,
I can't imagine that it is with these weird holdover classes that you have these very specific cars for that aren't good for anything else. Like and there's no clear path from SCCA time trials as we're running them in our region to get to that next level to go run in a Spec Miata or a Spec Racer Ford or something like that.
Right.
So
I say with the mid-div group, I thought they did a pretty good job as long as it wasn't a majors weekend. If it was a majors weekend, then it was exactly like you described. If it was a non-majors weekend, you had very similar numbers of time trialers and club racers, and it was a lot easier to...
Yeah, or that last one at Hallett that we did that we outnumbered.
Yep, exactly.
And we were all running in, I think, 2 groups, and they were running in the other 4 groups.
Yep. So those groups were a lot easier to work with, and I think it helped that they weren't quite so crowded. This turnout was almost grid life level with of number of participants. So I was surprised at just how many people were there. It was a good event. It was really good. Yeah, and I enjoyed having a whole weekend left to do whatever I felt like. So I just took my day of work and went to the racetrack, and then had all weekend to do whatever I wanted. So it was nice.
Yeah, doing it on Friday, like doing a one-day event on Saturday is nice because then Sunday I can just kind of like,
Yep.
Especially this time of year, whenever it's hot as crap outside. But doing, like, if I autocross on a Sunday now, it's just like, oh no. Whenever I get home, I have to go to work tomorrow. Oh dear.
Yup. Yeah, you don't get any decompression time. But other than that, we'll get to what you've been up to. So Hans would reach out to me because he's local now, and then he's racing GT this year, and so he reached out to me and was like, "Hey, you did that Mark 60 swap, and you wrote did the write up and all that stuff. Would you be able to give me some guidance?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Bring it on over. We'll knock this out." And so of course he had it all planned out. We had everything we needed, and then put it all together, and we start tearing his car apart, and we get everything put together, and it's like, oh, they sent us the wrong fittings, and so then they're like, you gotta wait, and then it's just, of course, it's never cut and dry, and then his brake booster fails, and then it's like we had to swap that out, so it's just it turned into this whole deal, and then he's got this, he got the it should have been the easy process of just a pre-bought wiring harness, everything plugs right in. It's got this little adapter box that converts the sensors to the correct signal. Everything should be basically plug and play.
I assume that that's how everything on a Corvette works because so many people have built them into track cars that every problem with it has an out-of-the-box solution that you just plug in and go, right?
Yeah. So, and that's what this on paper should have been. All I should have had to have done was power, ignition, pick where I want the yaw sensor, pick where I want the module to be, and then the idiot light. Everything else should have been just plug and play. And of course it was, I had to tie into the brake switch, and that should have been it. And so the wiring itself wasn't that bad, but the module box that he bought, wouldn't talk to its own software because it's supposed to do a handshake with the Mark 60 to use the CAN data, but it wouldn't do that. So it would do the conversion, and the input software would read all the correct information, and I could calibrate everything to work using the bootleg BMW software. But if I wanted to use the actual software that was supposed to be the easy button for this, it wouldn't talk to its own module because the CAN data wasn't getting sent back to the software. So we fought that for a long time before I was like, you know what, this doesn't fucking work. it doesn't need to work, and I'm sick of screwing with it. So like I can get this to work just like mine, and I don't know why your module box won't talk to its own software. So he was talking to like the people that made it, and like they were going to try to help him, but like luckily we didn't need that to work because we're not using it to diagnose or anything. But like again, he had somebody at Lime Rock with a fancy official BMW scan tool, and the scan tool wouldn't talk to the module because it's also trying to use CAN, and because it's going through the box, it wouldn't work. And so you have to use the weird bootleg software to get it to work.
Yeah.
So
did the module that he had, is it just supposed to be like an easier interface than trying to talk directly to it?
Correct. So you in theory you wouldn't need INPA or any of that bootleg software
or for German language lessons.
Exactly.
Or anything like that.
Yep. You should be able to. Then you don't need the BMW OBD2 plug. You would just get the USB plug that plugs into the box, and then that should talk to the software for that company. And then you just talk like uses their website. You don't have to download anything. But yeah, I couldn't get it to work. They couldn't get it to work. I could get it to work like completely ignoring that box as long as it was doing the conversion, completely ignoring it, and then just treating it like I did mine. What really screwed me up though is that his module came out of an automatic car, so it was throwing a error that couldn't find the automatic transmission.
Oh,
and
no.
I couldn't get an answer as to whether or not that was a problem. Because everywhere I've ever read online and have confirmed is that you'll get the VIN failures and then the CAN, like the instrument cluster failures. So you get 4 errors. It'll still work and not throw a an idiot light with those 4 errors. But because his had 5, I couldn't confirm whether or not the idiot light was failing, and I couldn't diagnose it. And then we also couldn't confirm if it was going to work because I couldn't find any answers anywhere. Come to find out, if you have an automatic transmission one, you can have 5 errors and it'll work.
You'll have to do an update for the how-to.
I did actually update a couple of things while we were working on it. I did because some of the things I linked to originally are no longer applicable, or like the files aren't there anymore. So I linked to a YouTube video that walks through how to do it as because I had to download the software again to my new laptop. So I basically redid everything. But yeah, so we did 2 weekends of that, of just like fighting through it, and just like it should have been no problem. Like, oh yeah, we'll knock this out in afternoon, a long afternoon, right? And then it ended up being 2 full weekends of just like dealing with weird bullshit that popped up and like a bunch of diagnostic time that we shouldn't have had to do. And then like we bled the brakes. So this would have been Tuesday before Lime Rock, and he's leaving. No, Wednesday. This is Wednesday before Lime Rock, and he's leaving Thursday morning. So we're bleeding the brakes. As far as I can tell, everything's working. The idiot light comes on when you put the ignition on. It shuts off when you start, or like it does like the cycle. So like a idiot light's on, does like the cycle, and then it shuts off. And I was like, I think everything's working. Wheel speed sensors are all reading. Everything looks like it's working like it's supposed to. I'm not getting any electrical errors. All of the sensors are reading correctly. Pressure sensors are reading. Like it all looks good. And then we bled the brakes, and I think we did 2 full like around the cars cycles, and it's just like I'm not getting any air. Pedal feels good. So like he's kind of cleaning up, and he's like, all right, you know what it's supposed to feel like, so you just take it. And like it's 9 o'clock at night. It's getting dark. His car doesn't have any headlights. I've never driven this car. And I was like, all right, well, the pedal feels good. We'll let her rip. And so we went up, like I took it up and down the road by my place. Pedal felt pretty good. Gave it a couple decent braking, like hard stops basically, without really pushing it, without risking putting it into the ditch. Felt good. I was like, all right, we got to test to see if the ABS works. And then did some more aggressive braking, and the ABS was working. All right, great. Brought it back to the shop, parked it, and he had the trailer all loaded. Went to drive it into the trailer, and when he went to brake, pedal went straight to the floor. Like nothing.
Wait, what?
I'm still dumbfounded that I could drive that car a handful of miles, aggressively braking, no issues whatsoever. Sits for 5 minutes, turn the car around, drive it onto the trailer, pedal to the floor. And at that point, like, it's too late for us to do any more dealing with it. He's like, we gotta load up, and I'll deal with this at Lime Rock. So they bled it I think they bled it like 2 more times at Lime Rock. I think he found out that his brake booster wasn't plugged in, like the vacuum line wasn't plugged in. Like we had forgot to install that. So I was just
manual braking.
I was manually braking it, which is probably why it worked for me.
That's where the advantage of guy who's driven the car before is better than guy who knows what the ABS feels like.
Agreed. Because I thought the pedal felt great. So they did a bunch of testing because he had to completely swap the wiring harness for that engine because that was like completely shot. And that was the reason driving the Mark 60 swap, because by doing that engine harness swap, they couldn't use the OEM ABS. There was a reason for it. So that's why we were trying to get the Mark 60 done. And so, so I think they swapped the harness, got the car running right, and then I think he went to practice, and then brakes didn't feel great, and he bled them again. And I can't remember where. Like, he was giving me updates throughout the weekend because I was like, dude, I'm dumbfounded. Those brakes worked great for me, like legitimately. No, I wouldn't have questioned it for a second. And then now they're not working at all. But the ABS is fine. There's not getting any errors there. But like, it's just pedal to the floor. So he bled it a couple more times. I think he found out later that the brake booster was junk. So they swapped it out for a used one, and it worked fine. So then, went into race 1, had brake issues, and then I think he fought some it was melting like the spark plug wires in race 2 or something, and then finished race 3 and 4, and then ended up getting 3rd on the weekend. So I'm taking credit for that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's because of me, right? Yeah.
Robbie's ABS Emporium and
the the shop for wayward cars is So we got that sorted. So I mean, we got 2 Mark 60s at work, so we're good.
So when you bleed that setup, do you have to like cycle the ABS?
Using
the software. Or?
So the first time I did it, I didn't use the software like in the 350Z. But that was when I was living on gravel. So what I would do is I would bleed it using because I do everything by my fucking self. So I did it with the power bleeder. Would bleed it until I was convinced there wasn't any air. I would take it around like the little block by my old place, and then I would easily lock it up over and over and over again in the gravel and cycle the ABS.
Pushes it all through out to the calipers, and then
So then I re-bled it a few more times that way. With his, we bled it. Then we ran the software to do like the cycle so that it would activate the ABS while it's just sitting there still. And then we bled it again. And then the pedal felt good, and I really wasn't seeing any air. And that's why I wanted to go, at least at this point, let's do some sanity checks. Let's make sure there's not any leaks, because like it's all new lines, everything. Like a completely new system. The only thing that was the same from where we started was the calipers, everything, and the sensors. That was it. Everything else was new. So, I guess we did a decent job of getting everything sealed because it didn't leak, and the sensors worked, and he got 3rd place. So,
sweet.
Yeah.
Put that flag on the wall in the ABS Emporium.
Yep. It was just funny how much I like knew off the top of my head that just came back. Like, it was just like, oh yeah, I know that. That's easy. We'll just do this.
I've fought with this before.
Yeah, it's no problem. Yeah, it's really not that. It's not that big of an undertaking, but yeah, it's just a lot to learn.
So is that still the older style module? Because I've seen some stuff with people using the later model ones that I guess this are a lot more plentiful, but they need a different like wheel speed sensor signal.
Yeah, so some of the older Corvette, I can't remember. I think it's 09 and newer. I'm not sure to what year. those sensors plug right in because they're that would be active is the word I'm looking for. And then whatever year his Corvette is had to have the converter box because it turns a passive. I don't know if this is the correct way of saying it. Passive versus active brake sensor.
They're like
wheel speed sensor.
Hall effect or something. Yeah.
So
we're on a podcast. We know what we're talking about.
So I probably could have spoke to it better a week ago. But yeah, let's call them active and passive for lack of a better term. But yeah, so that they had to convert that signal to the Mark 60, and he's just using the regular Mark 60. The converter box would have worked for the Mark 60, what's it called? The Mark 60-1, and then the Mark 60E is the newer one that everyone's going to.
Yeah, that's what I've seen this stuff for the E5, and I was talking to David Whitener at the SCCA event I did back in like July, and he was talking about putting that on one of his Miata track car.
Yeah,
and I was thinking whenever I'd looked into that one that I guess you would probably need a converter for the Z because I think it's a different type on the wheel speed sensors, but I don't remember for sure.
Yeah, I am still a member of the Mark 60 swap group on Facebook, so I do see some stuff every once in a while. So, but again, since I'm not actively doing it, I'm not paying as close attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in general it's probably almost as straightforward of a swap. You just gotta figure out the nuances of the one versus the other. Because I think the wiring's all the same, like same pins and everything.
Yeah, and the difference being that I think the E5 or whatever it is used in a crap load of cars, and you can get the modules like crazy cheap.
Yes,
seems like so.
Yes, the Mark 60 E1 and E5, and I don't know. I honestly have no clue what the E1 comes in. Yeah, because there was 3 available as like the settings you could configure on that box to get the speed sensors right.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I may learn more about that in the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, you will. Well, if you ever want to just like drop it off, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I'll just swing by.
Yeah. One couple quick last little updates, and then so last weekend Jess went and visited her family, and that meant I had 3 days of bachelor party time. Just, I guess not really bachelor party, just bachelor weekend is what I jokingly called it, when it's really just me being at home by myself. My whole plan was to just like relax and do some sim racing, use it as an excuse to go to like the garbage restaurants that Jess doesn't want to eat. Like,
I was about to say, what are we eating tonight?
Like
Pizza.
White Castle, just junk. And I didn't do that. I did a decent amount of sim racing on Sunday. And the only time I left for food was on Saturday. And even then, like, none of the garbage food sounded good anymore. And I was just like, I'm just going to go try this new Chinese, not new, but it's like this Chinese restaurant in a strip mall that I've never tried before. And I walked in, and like, it was the very traditional paper menu. And like, when you look on the wall, it had the pictures of the food, but it was like faded yellow. And like, it had like the yellow rice.
Yeah.
And as soon as I walked in, I went, I made the right choice.
This is my place.
This is it.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, it's the closest Chinese food to my house. So it just works out. And it was really good. But yeah, that was the only time I left the whole weekend. But yeah, so what happened was I had these plans to just relax. And after about 30 minutes of that, I'm like, I'm bored.
You're like, wait a minute.
So what I did...
I don't relax.
No. So then like... I don't really have, like, at that point I hadn't started the car to realize how I needed to change the spark plugs right then and there. So like that, I didn't do anything to the car, but I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll start working on the 2026 engine. And so then I went out there and I cleaned, and then I started porting and polishing the intake manifold, the upper, the lower, and the runners. And I spent all of Friday afternoon and into the evening and all of Saturday porting and polishing, because that's how far into the weeds we're going with this.
That makes my ears hurt.
Yep. Because Jess asked me what I'm doing, and I was like, I'm going no stone unturned, Jess. We are that far into the weeds right now. We are porting and polishing because that extra 0.5%. That's what we're doing here.
Well, that's
Yep.
yeah, that's just the start.
You're
starting at the top and working your way down.
Yeah, we're hot rodding that shit. I did, actually on Friday, I did swing over to Dayton and I picked up connecting rods and a timing chain set, and then stopped and bullshitted with Joe for a while. But yeah, so I gotta send the rods out to get inspected by Carrillo to make sure everything's ship shape. Because you just send it to them. They're like, yeah, we'll inspect them and verify it, and if anything's wrong, we'll get you fixed or get you new ones. Otherwise, yeah, just $25 a rod. I'm like, yeah, we'll do that. And
Have they been run before?
Yeah, they were used. I need to get pistons yet. And then, yeah, the timing chains, like the whole timing chain set's brand new, so that's nice. And then, so then the block is ready and the heads are ready and the crank is ready to go to you. So
sweet.
So those just need to be basically packaged up so they're not making a mess in Matt's rig when I send them down with him. So those are ready. Everything's stripped, and then I have a pile of like new parts and then like in process parts, and then so it's coming together a lot faster than I thought it would, because I like all the Jim Wolf stuff, like so the entire valve train system, the cams, all the springs, like all that stuff showed up that Friday of the time trial. So that's all here already. So yeah, it's the pile of new parts is growing. The oil pump shows up by the time this airs, and that's capable of about 9,000 RPM.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We're doing big things.
I don't think we're spinning it to 9, but
88.
It's
You can round up. It's okay.
It's definitely over 8. It should be easily over 8. So, so I'll finish up porting and polishing probably by the time this airs, and then that'll be because I did like all the rough, like I did all the like getting rid of the material that doesn't need to be there, sizing it to the gaskets, getting rid of all the rough surfaces, rounding all, like just getting the edges rounded so there's no sharp corners. Just doing all the rough stuff, and then all the actual polishing will be done this weekend. So we're way into the weeds.
So where I'm looking at that plenum.
So that's 2 pieces. So you're not.
Yeah.
Yep.
So where do the injectors?
Those
sit at? Is that the hole down at the bottom of it?
Those holes in the flange. Those are those 3 injectors. Yeah. Oh, and then I got my E85 injectors as well.
Corn juice.
Yeah, like that's clean burning ethanol, man. Yeehaw.
That's clean. It's going to be clean burning Ohio ethanol, though.
I don't care. Yeah. So yeah, I still got to get the flex fuel sensor and all that stuff. But yeah, that's winter project. We're not that far yet, but we're getting there.
You're gonna be like, man, this ethanol smells like Buckeyes, not like corn. This is weird.
Yep. Nope. I mean, I was talking to Clark at Jim Wolf, and I was just like, "Here's what I want," and it's like, well, you do your port and polish, you do your E85, you do your cams, and it's just kind of like little incremental 1% here, 1% there, and
next thing you know, you're trying to figure out how to take 100 horsepower out of it.
I hope so. Yeah, it'd be nice to actually have to detune a little for once instead of going full potential all the time, so I can just get my ass kicked. So it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm finally excited about doing something.
Yep. I'm excited to get to be a part of it. So
yep. I'm 99% certain I'm going to go with a 96 or 96.5 millimeter piston. So that's like the last decision to make on like what I like giving you any sort of guidance on what you're doing with the block, because we're already here. Might as well get the biggest piston I can get. So
yeah, that's not like a 0.5 millimeter. It's another
right
20 thousandths, so it's not a huge thing in the grand scheme of things. But
no. But again,
the only
reporting for that far.
Yeah, the only consideration on it would be whether, if something happened to it and it needed to be honed again, whether you wanted to be able to use that same block to go the next step up.
Right.
But it's not exactly like you don't have plenty at your disposal.
I have 3 blocks. I have 3 blocks in the shop. One of which, though, I don't like the way the walls look, and I will not be using. So that one's probably just going to get junked. Because that was the one I planned on using originally. Has like that's the one that had like the weird corrosion from all of the coolant that was like dried in there. Like it had created like, I don't know if it was like too much antifreeze and not enough water, and then it just was left to dry, and it was like a paste inside like all of the block, and like a powdery, disgusting stuff that took forever to get cleaned out. And then when I finally had it cleaned out, I realized that there was like this gouge, like almost, I don't know if it was like a manufacturing defect or like just or if it had corroded, but there was like a thin wall condition on one of the middle cylinder walls, and I'm like, I don't like that. I'm sure it met factory spec, but if you're going to do any machining to it, I'm not using that.
Yeah.
So that one.
There's plenty of them out there. There's no point in starting with something that has like obvious questions about it from the start.
Yep. Yeah. So that one's sitting in the corner. Realistically, it's probably going to get recycled and get the scrap money for it, because it's not. I'll never trust it. And then I got the one that I'll send to you, and then I have that other spare in the corner. So I mean, we have plenty of options. But yeah, exciting stuff.
Yep.
Way into the weeds. Chasing after that percent here, percent there. And then I also am attacking the rule book with an engineering and racer mindset, not the mindset of someone that has put on events for years. So I'm not going through the rule book going, here's exactly what they mean black and white. I'm looking at it going, what does this sentence say? Really?
Here are the words. What don't the words say?
And I've already. Did I send you the pictures of my plan?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll send it to you. But there was already one set, like a sentence or a section of the rules that I went, it says this, and I can do this completely within the bounds of the rules, and I think it's totally legal, and we're going to try it. We're in the gray area, and I'm excited about it.
Well, as was mentioned in the GLTC group today, that rulebook's only like 20 pages.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things that aren't in there.
There's a lot of things that aren't in there. And it's one of those things like this particular thing. I'm kind of keeping it to myself for now, but like I have no doubt in my mind that it's actually perfectly legal. It's just something that no one's really thinking about or focusing on. And I think, like, again, we're talking like a little bit of percentage difference, like something that would be a little beneficial, but it's not one of those like he's cheating, because it's clearly not a cheat. But it's just one of those things that I think that it could make things more effective within the confines of the rules that people just aren't focusing on. So I'll send you the pictures.
Sweet.
But yeah, so I'm trying to be focused on being a competitor, and I'm excited about it again. So, and then
I wonder what we decide to get really crazy. Darton has sleeve inserts to take it up to 100 millimeters.
I know that, but I don't know who makes 100 millimeter pistons.
Well, that's when you just get them custom.
Yeah, that's where we're at. I suppose I could just.
It's like Jim Wolf. You just JE just makes pistons too. Yeah.
They just make custom ground cams. I mean, I told them what I wanted. He's like, yeah, it's not really an off the shelf thing. We can just give you a custom grind. I'm like, what's that going to cost? Oh, it's the same price. Oh, okay.
See, the thing about custom pistons though is you order them like, okay, there's 6 of them that we need now. Let's just go ahead and have you make
12.
12. Let's just say 12. Yep.
Yep.
Just in case.
Yeah, because forgings are cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now we'll get because I have like nice Carrillo or CP pistons, but of course they're like forced induction 8.8 compression ratio, which is like no good. So those go back to Joe.
or you could just,
No.
plan for the turbo.
No, we're not doing that. We're doing high compression, high revving. I've always wanted to build it, and I'm doing it.
Yep. I'm an NA boy at heart.
I'm sticking to it for now. I'm sticking to the VQ because I do feel like I can build it to be where I want it to be without having to do an engine swap.
Well, it feels more in line with the GLTC kind of overall stated mission of things. Being, like it's always been weird to me to take a car that makes 450 horsepower and then like
neuter it down to 200.
Make the throttle open 40% to go run with a bunch of 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder cars that are running like
full capacity,
pretty ragged edge to get to where they're doing to run the times that they are. So
no, and whether it's my downfall or not, it's that's the hill I'm trying to die on, and I'm trying to stick to that. So no, I would agree that that's the overarching, maybe not goal, but just kind of like the characteristics of GLTC. I think that was the main idea, and I believe in that idea, and that's why I kind of want to stick to that same idea. And so I'm more stubborn than doing the air quote easy thing and swapping to a different engine. It's like, yeah, you could K swap it, or you could LS swap it, or whatever. And it's just like I don't want to do that. I want to stick with what I got, and I want to make this better.
Well, Nissan already made the perfect motor, so you just need to just sharpen the edges of it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll port and polish this thing. We'll make it great. And then one last thing about me, and then we can quit talking about me. I bought something today.
Is it another 300ZX?
No. I bought a How to Fit today.
Oh, you took my Fit.
I did take your Fit. I've E-Man posted in the group that a customer had gotten to the point where the car is probably not worth fixing, and they're like, anybody want this? And I was like, well, actually, offered it to you. He offered it to you.
He told me that it was mine, and I told him that, one, it's in Ohio. Two, I have no room for it for the foreseeable future. And three, if there was going to be room here, I've been informed by some interesting glances from my wife when discussing a Fit that maybe the room that we do have is not able to fit a Fit.
Yep.
She's been on board with old Land Cruiser or old 4Runner or old station wagon, but Fit she hasn't warmed up to Fit yet.
Yep.
So
yeah, I didn't even bother talking to Jess. I went straight from.
You've got places to hide it.
I do have places to hide it. I went straight from work over to North End Wrench, and then looked at the car, and then talked to E-Man to kind of get a better handle on it, because I don't even know what year it is. It's got 200,000 miles on it. It's got surface defects, obviously, because it's a 200,000 mile daily driven car, and then the interior is disgusting.
It's got a little bit of it's got some lightning holes in the passenger side quarter panel right above the bumper.
Yep. Yeah, that one side's kind of bad, but the rest is fine. And then it's a manual transmission, and it definitely needs carpet. That thing is disgusting.
That interior is something.
Dogs have destroyed that interior. So I looked at it and it was just like, she doesn't want to fix it, and I'll pay cash for that. So I'll pick it up tomorrow. And then I came home and then told Jess that I had bought a car, and you can about imagine how happy she was about that.
But then costing me money not to buy this car.
I might have used those exact words. I told her, I was like, this is the Focus all over again. I'd be an idiot not to buy it. And then the real kicker was when I used the perfect words, because she takes the dogs to this trail that's like a few miles from the house, and she has to drive there. And every time she does...
This car's already been ruined by dogs. It's perfect.
It makes her Bronco disgusting, because they walk in the mud, they go walk through the creek, and then they get 3 dogs in the back of the Bronco, and it's a mess. And I told her, I was like, you like taking the dogs to that trail, right? Yeah. I think I just found your dogs to the trail car. And she thought about it. She's like, God damn it, you're right.
Dogs to the trail car with some 510s and
That's fine.
660s.
It's fine. Yeah, I literally have no plans for it but to fix it and then figure it out from there. Clean it up a bit because it definitely needs a spit shine, but yeah, I'm not replacing the Sonic with it. That's definitely not the plan, but we'll see if I'll fix it, drive it. Maybe I'll just flip it. I don't know. Maybe if Grid Life would make a B-Spec class, I could cage it and we could go racing, but until that happens, it's just, I can't really commit to anything.
So I have a funny fit related story, a fit on track related story. So this past weekend I ran with we've got a group here called Apex, and it's been a driving school, just HPDE, for like over 20 years. And they've added the last several years, they call it Apex Lap Attack, that they've got, I thought LA1 through LA5 as the classes, like 5 being the slow. They've got a calculator that's just like tire size, weight, power.
Okay, so it's like a power. It's legit like a power to weight.
You don't have to have a dyno
Sure.
to do it. You can do it based off of like OEM horsepower. So there's some kind of gray area there. I have questions about a few cars, but
I'm sure.
Neither here nor there, until I can run within like, less than 10 seconds of what they're running in the same class as me. I don't really have a right to question what's going on with them, I guess. But so my buddy John that has the Fit that we autocrossed, I was talking to him and he's like, yeah, I was doing their calculator and I like can't find that anybody's really run in the class that the Fit's in. And I'm like, but it's LA1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And like 1's just basically unlimited and
sure,
on down from there. I'm like, there's lots of cars in LA5. I don't know what he's talking about. And so he texted me a screen grab of the calculator on their website. There's an LA6 class. And I think like one person has run it in like 3 years.
So it's like 25-1, basically. It has to be.
It's which, stock power fit, basically full weight, little skinny tire. There's like no because it's basically just you have modifiers that just count up a point total.
Sure.
Which is it's essentially a lower barrier to entry version of what like the mid-iv rules were of like, I want to put all of my eggs in the aero basket so I can run a light car on small tires and still get, still be in a decent class versus, you can kind of build the car that you want based on what your car needs versus getting bumped into max because you put solid bushings under the back of it like I do.
Yep.
So yeah, legitimately this car, like he could take it out there and probably set lap records at every configuration because no one's run a Fit in this group. Now, there's also the other thing of this is it's only one group during the day, and there's like the fastest time of the day on Saturday was a guy named Silvio that was driving a Porsche Cup car that was running like a 153 on the full course at Eagles. I don't think in the Fit, I know he wouldn't get 2 full laps before he got lapped.
Yep.
He might not make it back around on his first flyer before he saw that car, depending on how well they released them and how well everybody stayed bunched up. So there's some interesting like things here whenever you would basically be running Grid Life Grid Life Time Attack Group A and Group D at the same time.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, it's fine. As long as everybody's watching, everything's cool.
I mean, legitimately, you could do it, but you're definitely opening yourself up to problems.
Yeah, it would be an interesting dynamic of which, and I was looking at the Eagles Canyon track map and I'm thinking, okay, there's like 4 brake zones, maybe, possibly just 3.
Yep.
For the Fit.
Oh yeah. I was shocked at how little they use their brakes at Heartland Park.
Oh yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, from like
You're
13
full throttle all the way to like 4.
from 13 to 4, just flat.
Yeah, flat over alpha, flat through 1, like just
much to Adam's dad's surprise in the passenger seat.
That is eye opening. That is some wild shit.
So yeah, I went and did more HP things, and had another like completely uneventful, boring day for the most part.
That's how we like it.
Yeah. So leading up to the weekend, I was like, oh, I'll just because I have my list of stuff, because I don't go on track very often anymore. So everything on the car is adjustable suspension wise. So an alignment check is just a baseline. And then I knew it needed an alignment check because I had centered the steering wheel up nicely the last time I had aligned it. And then after going to the track the last time, it was off going down the highway. So I'm like, okay, something somewhere has moved. And so I figured out I've never had, because the Z uses eccentrics in the back to set the toe.
Yep.
And the link is offset to the rear of the car. So the weight of the car pushes on those eccentrics whenever you're loaded up in a corner. I had issues with them moving, but I've also never run 295 Yokohama AO52s on the car before. So my rear toe that was at 0 before the last track event, the driver's side was out like 2 millimeters and the passenger side was out like a 0.5 millimeter. And that coincides with like the faster corners on the clockwise course were right-handers. So it's pushing more on that, on that left side tire. So I was like, okay, so I guess I'll do a full alignment on it, because the toes moved. And then, like the front, like passenger side camber, I think I missed on it a little bit whenever I did it before. So it had a little bit more than what I wanted. So I got all that solved. And then also the brake pedal felt just a little bit not great. So we'll go ahead and just, do a brake flush on it also, because that's just what I do every time I go to the track now, I guess. Yep. And so it ended up being like the week of it, because of course I didn't do anything the weekend.
Yep.
So it's like in the garage until 9:30 on Monday and Tuesday, and then 10 o'clock on Wednesday, and then Thursday loading it, and I'm done with that at like between 7:30 and 8. So by Friday it's just back up to the trailer, hook it up, and then pass smooth out by 9:45 that night, and get up, head to the track again at I got up at 5 and was out of the house by 5:45 to get out there, to still not have a good parking space because these people are lunatics and they're all there already.
Yep.
At 6:45. And then just pounded out 20. I didn't run I did find the limit on the big track. The yokes have got like 5 laps in them before they were getting greasy.
Sure.
And the car is just starting to slide. But found time like all through the day. It was like a 219, a 216, a 216, like a deeper 16.
Nice.
And then ended up with a 14.9 at the end of the day, which would have been like right at I fall into their like LA4 class. And I would have been at the back of the LA4 class with that, but it was like half a second off of the person that was at the back. So it's like, okay, I'll take that for, there's a significant portion of the people in that group are members out there that drive that track all the time. Yeah. And the big configuration of that track has a bunch of different places that are just nut up and
high risk or higher risk.
Yeah. Well, just if you know all of the little intricacies of the car placement there's so much time to be gained in just lining up these, like there's, they redid the track. So new people bought the track like 5 years ago now, I guess, or maybe it was probably longer ago than that, but and they reconfigured the back section of it where it used to just be essentially like 5 straightaways with double apex 180s at each end. And they added a section that like you come out of the lowest part of the track and then come up onto this just big radius sweeping right-hander that is just flat. Like I'm like a 90 mile an hour min speed at the apex of it, and that's slow. That's really slow. And like you're that into a slightly tighter left-hander into a tight left-hander. So there's a ton of just timing and car placement and rhythm there that once you get it, there's just tons and tons of time to be gained there. And it's something that I've just never gotten comfortable with. I haven't driven that configuration enough, but I've been running it in a Seto enough lately that I didn't feel completely lost in it most of the time this trip at least. So
nice.
There's, again, it's just like, you know, seat time and trusting the car and getting familiar with that configuration. There's a ton of time on the table for what that car that I'm just not maximizing at all. And then back to the gearing discussion that we've had multiple times now of like, oh, I'm only running third and fourth in a car that makes no mid-range torque. Like this isn't ideal, but no. And then coming away from it, I'm like, so the gearing is a thing, and the pad knockback is still a thing. So
yeah,
kind of driving around that knockback, and I need to check out the rear hubs because I think part of it is in my Rock Auto because I did the 370Z hub upgrade in the rear. But I did it with kind of cheapo generic hubs, so I don't know
I had pretty good luck with the cheapo generic ones the first year for sure. I switched to OEM, and then my spares are the cheapos now. Yeah. But like with having the actual bolted to them, that certainly seems to make a huge difference. With the rears for sure. So
so I'm probably grasping at straws and hoping that that's what is going on,
it's
really still just that the front is still just not there.
They're terrible. The fronts are terrible on the Z's. It's just it's a fact of life.
But
I can fix that for you.
Yeah, I know. So it was like two things regarding the brakes. It was like one. So there was 2 main parts that it was bad, and it's at the bottom of the hill, like in the first half of the lap. You come out of 3, and then it's like, so 3 is a double apex left, and then you're down through 4, which is a like sweeping fast right hand downhill, and then you've got to brake hard at the bottom of the hill. Well, any of that left and right is where it gets bad because it's flexing one way and then flexing back the other way, and then you've got to take up that slack whenever you get back to the pedal.
Yep.
And it's a fast downhill turning back up the hill. Need to really carry it into a trail brake, and the pedal is like 30% longer than what it normally is.
Yep. Not quite there.
And even whenever you're expecting it, it just makes it hard to modulate how much pressure there is on it with even with the manual setup. It just kind of takes you off of things a little bit.
Yeah, it's just one more thing to fucking worry about and focus on.
And then the other place conveniently is at the end of the longest straightaway on the fastest part of the track, right before a fairly slow uphill blind corner. So
yep.
And that one again, you're like your hard left, downhill right, uphill left onto that long straight. And so I figured out like, oh, I'll just do a little tap like halfway down the straight. Well, I figured out that whenever you do a tap in that car, in my car at least, if you hit the brakes, it cuts throttle.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I thought I was imagining it at first, and then I did it a couple other times, and
sure
I guess I don't know if it's seeing the brake light switch signal.
Interesting.
And that's what makes it do it, but it's very obvious. Like I just brush the brake and it goes,
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So like that's not
helpful.
super convenient.
No.
Like we're not gaining any time doing this.
No.
And then I was trying left foot braking off and on, but it's the pedal box in that car and I think my seat is a little bit turned out, like toward the outside of the car.
Sure.
And then they're Cobra seats, and it's got like a hump in the middle of it that's between your legs on the front pad. So to hold my foot over to the left comfortably, like I'm up on a pad and it's like past the center line of the seat. So it just feels completely unnatural.
Interesting.
To try to do it.
I think you're like mine feels like the seat with the like I mean I have one of those brackets and then like it's for the 350Z and then it has like the side mounts or whatever, and I'm convinced that my whole setup should be shifted just ever so slightly to the right, because I feel like I'm sitting marginally to the left of where the center line of the steering wheel is. Yeah, I mean it's fine, but it's just one of those things. Like I bet if I was just like a skosh over, but I don't want to like completely like blow it all up and then put it all back, because I've tried that a couple of times. It's like I'm as far as it can shift without having to like slot like
these, beat the brakes off the transmission tunnel or something.
Yeah, so it's again it's just one of those like real nitpicky things, because like I yanked out the Torque Solutions shifter yesterday and put in the OEM shifter, because I'm sick of fighting that short shifter. So I'm trying to go back to a longer throw and see if that, like, it felt pretty good on my test drive, but we'll see how it feels on track.
Did you ever try? Have you had the GK Tech one?
The Synchro Eater? No, I have not. The shift?
Not the Strike Fast. Just the regular.
No, I'm right now. I'm going back to a longer throw, and just like I know a lot of people go back to the OEMs. I had a really shitty like eBay short shifter to start, and then I went to the Torque Solution because that was like the best short shifter supposedly, and then I've been dealing with that for the last couple of years, and like I don't love it, and I'm just trying to find something that's just like more confidence in like building, like where I feel like I just throw it into gear and like it's where it's supposed to be. And so like I actually feel it's not like the 350Z has a long throw. So I mean, like it's so like you take 33% away from that, it's like not throw at all.
Yeah, I've been super happy with the GK one because it basically just moves the pivot up slightly from what the stock one was, and it shortened it some, but then I did that and the solid bushings at the same time, and it feels significantly better than what it did.
Sure.
And it's not crazy short, and I use a taller handle on it too. But
okay. I'll definitely keep that in my back pocket. But yeah, I'm to the point where I'm just trying something that's a little more like that has a better feel for it. So
I also like the fact that it was like $130 or something like that versus like 400 or something crazy.
Yeah. So somebody posted on one of the groups, they had a bunch of parts and they had like an entire OEM shifter assembly for like $40. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. I want all of that. So at least, if I can try this and I hate it, at least I'm only out. I guess I paid shipping, so it's like $60. I'll be out $60 if I don't like it. But one thing I did do at Mid Ohio that I didn't talk about was that like I spent the entire day basically doing like settings, like a sweep of suspension settings and like wing settings, and it went from like at grid life, and then during the first couple sessions I was like, this car drives like shit, to by the time I got to the last session I was like, okay, I'm really happy with the way this car feels.
This is a drivable vehicle again.
Yep. It took 2 full, I guess 3 days of like dialing and trying different settings and documenting what, like, just kind of doing sweeps, and finally got to where I feel like, okay, this is a good setup and that this is something to work with. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that's the value of going out on a day where you just don't care, you just want to feel the car and work on your driving and work on the setup of the car, is like, yeah, it's worth way more than what it costs to go out and do it, to, you know, have the low pressure, just go out and dick around and try stuff kind of day.
Yeah. I mean, the tires were junk to begin with, and they got worse. And then, so like it got to the point where I was like, okay, the car feels good, the tires feel like shit.
Yeah.
And like that, and that was the big difference, is that like these tires are dead. They were dead before we got here, but they're dead now. And I'm still doing better lap times than I did at Grid Life.
So now the next step is you just order like 3 sets of 730s, and you go out and kill one set for just testing for an entire weekend on them to really optimize specifically for those tires.
Yep. No. No, because like the Nexons are legal again, so I might go back. They're not legal, but like they don't take a modifier anymore, so I might go back to them next year, or try the 660 pluses, or just I don't know. I don't love the way the Kumos feel.
I'm with you on that one.
I don't know. They just felt. I think the new surface at Mid Ohio is actually pretty greasy feeling. Like I know, like because Jess made a comment, she's like, everyone's sliding around out there. Like it's obvious. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, because I feel like I'm sliding around like more than I think I should. She's like, no, you can just stand there and watch everybody struggle through the corners, and she's not even like real in tuned with this, and she's sitting there going, yeah, they all look like shit through that corner.
Yeah, I feel like the first, like, because how long has it been since they did that?
I honestly don't know. A few years. I haven't paid close attention to it since, like, obviously moving here. I paid a lot closer attention to it, but like,
yeah, I couldn't remember for sure. I was thinking it had been at least a season, because I know it seems like at least like the first year that the asphalt's kind of still like putting oil out and kind of still curing a little bit, but
yeah.
But yeah,
don't you have an old man yells at cloud things to talk about?
So yeah, I have. Well, this is some hard hitting automotive journalism.
Yes.
Yeah. So, through some kind of random circumstances in the last 3 weeks, I've driven all of the Chevrolet Silverado 1500 powertrains.
All right.
So the half-ton trucks, you can get it with the 5.3 V8 with a 10-speed transmission, which is what I ended up getting back in February whenever I got mine. You can get a 3-liter Duramax diesel with the 10-speed transmission. That's the other kind of like up option.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Called the Baby Duramax. And it makes like gobs of torque.
Yes.
And somehow, even though it's a diesel and it's a straight 6, it turns like 5,200 RPM or 5,500 RPM. Yeah.
Jeez.
And then kind of the lower option one is a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder that is turbocharged, that makes like 430 foot-pounds of torque or something crazy.
Huh.
And it's hooked up to the 8-speed transmission.
They're still selling the 8-speed?
Yes.
Weird.
So it's kind of the 2.7 with the 8-speed is kind of the equivalent of what the like mid 2000s 4.8 with the 4-speed, whenever the other trucks were optioned with the 5.3 and the 6-speed. So that's what I've determined is
that's fair.
Kind of the
I'm surprised. I am shocked they're still selling the 8-speed.
Yeah. And I think they've continued to update it, because it's also the 8-speed's also in the Colorados and the Canyons, and I've read stuff that it's supposedly like they've iterated it over time, and it's supposed to be like a reasonably solid option. So.
I mean, it doesn't break, but it's just a weird, like the shift logic's super weird, and like it's just clunky. Yeah, but like it works.
Yeah. So the way my dad's been driving a 2018 3/4 ton with a Duramax in it since he got it new in 2018, and it started to do. It had like 88,000 miles on it, but it had aged out of the extended warranty, and it started to do like weird Duramax things where like an injector failed like right before the warranty went out, and that was like a $1,400 fix.
Sounds about right.
And then shortly after the warranty, another injector started giving weird issues. And then just like, it was starting to do things that was like, I don't know that this needs to live here without a warranty on it. Yeah. So he found what he wanted over and decided, okay, I'm gonna take the plunge, and I need a good 3/4 ton truck that doesn't like give me random surprises every once in a while. So we're just gonna bite the bullet and get this one. And he says that at the age that he's at, this is the last 3/4 ton truck that he will probably need. that by the time that he's past the usable life of this one, that he probably won't be hauling around a pontoon boat and a 32-foot enclosed trailer quite as much as he has been the last several years. But
you never know.
So yeah, hopefully he'll be, still searching for a truck long after that. But
yes,
either way, so he got a loaner while he was getting all that lined up that had the 2.7 in it. And I had like gone to lunch and come back from lunch, and he's there with his truck, and it's the same color as mine. It's the same wheels as mine. I'm like, if you wanted my truck, you could have just asked me for it. I would have let you borrow it. And then I see that it says Turbo Max on the hood, which is the 2.7. I'm like, okay, well, I had looked at the 2.7 and the 3.0 whenever I got mine, but I'd never drive any of them. I was like, give me the key. I want to go take this thing down the road and see what it feels like. And it is weird.
Interesting.
Like the 5.3, you barely feel any like resonance you barely hear it. You barely feel anything from it. It's super smooth. It's kind of mind blowing compared to what the old generation 5.3 was.
I believe that, because the other one was kind of clunky and shaky and rough.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's incredibly smooth, like for like going through the RPM range, going down the road, and the transmission helps it a lot, I'm sure, with it having 10 gears to pick from. But, so 2.7, I like back it out into the street and roll my foot into it, and it instantly goes up to like 2,600 RPM before the truck really starts rolling.
Okay.
And you instantly just hear it. Wow. Like it just has this funny, it's not really like you hear engine noise. It's just, you hear the whole truck kind of resonating around it. And that's odd. And I got it up to like, I didn't get it out on the highway. I just went around a loop around our shop where I could get it up to like 45 or 50, but it doesn't move unless it's turning like,
you get
at least 2,500 RPM. Like it just instantly goes up to that, almost like it's a CVT. And I guess, I don't know if they've got just a looser converter in those because of where the power starts on that engine or what, because to look at it on paper, it makes peak torque at like 20 or, like 2,000 or 1,800 RPM. It's something stupid.
Weird.
Because it's a turbo.
Yeah, right.
But it was just, for two vehicles that are essentially the same vehicle, it's one of those things where you realize like, oh, the engine makes like so much difference in everything that you feel in it, not just from how it puts power down or anything else. And then so fast forward to today, I had to take mine in for them to look at something for like a recall or a service bulletin on it. And I got a loaner, and she pulls it around, and it's an extended cab. It's not the full crew cab. And I listened to it, and I'm like, oh, and she's like, oh yeah, by the way, it's a diesel one. Don't put, I was like, oh yeah, I won't put gasoline in it. So I got to do like a 20-mile drive each direction today, going back to work and then back to the dealer in the 3.0. And like, it's pretty impressive.
So what edition was this truck?
It's a Texas edition.
All right,
I don't think they sell anything but Texas edition. Or well, no, my dad's is a Trail Boss. It's not a Texas edition. It's a Trail Boss. So
perfect. You sent the picture and it popped. I was like, of course it's a Texas edition.
hell yeah, it's a Texas edition, buddy.
Yeehaw.
And then like this thing was super weird. Like it's got leather, and the like all the convenience packages where it has like the 360 camera and adaptive cruise and all this stuff, but it's also the smaller extended cab.
Yeah,
and it's got the diesel engine in it, which is an up option from the 5.3. It's just I'm assuming that somebody had ordered.
This seems like a custom. It definitely seems custom. I mean, it looks like a nice truck.
Oh yeah, it was like, if it was a crew cab, I was like, yeah, I could, because it, the color is called like cypress gray. It's kind of a dark greenish, brownish gray. That's kind of cool looking, but it also, like, I don't do a good job of washing my vehicles, and it did not look clean, and you could tell that it was not clean. Like where my old man gray, it doesn't ever look that great or that bad, but I'm fine with that because it doesn't get washed that often. So
that's how I feel about the silver on the Sonic. It hides the fact that it's dirty really well.
Yeah. And then so the other thing it has that I was adamant that I was not having on mine was the like multi-piece crazy tailgate that has the thing that flips down to the top, and then whenever you fold it down, you can flip another thing out as a step. I was adamant I do not want that. I've been told that if something happens to it, it's like $8,000 to replace it.
It's something real dumb.
Eight might even be like a conservative estimate on it.
Yeah.
So I went around there because I realized that I've had all these preconceived notions about it. I've never even actually touched one because my truck, I didn't want it, and I didn't look at any of the others. Yep. So I go over and press the top button so it flips the little part out on the top.
For your laptop when you're architecturing in the field.
Yeah, for whenever I have no idea what the purpose of it is. It would make it a little bit easier to reach.
Or foreman's.
Foreman. For when I'm on the job site.
Yes, that's it.
So like I guess it makes it easier to reach over into the bed to get something out. Anytime I need to do that, I just hop up on the corner on the little step that it's got.
The steps on the corner are a nice addition. I appreciate those in the bumper. I will say that's good.
Yeah, I don't like the way they look.
No, I like the function.
But considering that the top of the tailgate is at my chin, yeah, it's kind of handy to have.
Yep.
And so like you fold that one down, and then like I couldn't figure out how to get it to go back up because it felt like it locked whenever it got down there.
Yep.
So I was like, I guess I got it to close, and then I opened the whole tailgate, and then I opened it down, and then there's another piece on there that you have to like push in on the top, and that opens as a step. Okay, well, I got it all open. I think there's a picture of it open all the way in there.
It is.
And then I couldn't figure out how to close it. Because it's got the spring-loaded assist. Like mine has a spring-loaded assist thing in it. So whenever I go to close it, I just whoop, clink.
Yeah, like, no problem.
Yeah, it takes no effort at all, which I'm not used to because my old truck, if you just reached up and grabbed the handle on that thing, it would just slam down like nobody's business. I couldn't figure out how to fold the step back up because every time I tried to fold the step part back in, I was picking up the whole tailgate. So I had to hold on to the tailgate and then push the step. And then I ended up there's skateboard grip tape on it. And I scratch, you can't really see it, but I put this big rug burn spot on my arm up against the grip tape. And I finally got that to close, and then I couldn't figure out how to get the main secondary part to close. So I had to awkwardly push on the edge of the, push on the end of the tailgate and then close the big part of it and then figure out how to push the small part of it up in there.
Yep.
I was like, sometimes you wonder if you have buyer's remorse about something, and then you actually get to experience it. And you're like, no, I don't. Not at all.
I made the right choice.
I found the right truck.
No, I felt the exact same way when I bought mine, and it's an 18 Silverado 6.2 liter max trailer package with the 6.5 foot bed. And the guy that bought it did again, like went through and like checked off all the things he wanted and all the things he didn't want. And it's got like heated seats, leather, like the very basic backup camera. And that's it. And like the small infotainment center. And that's it. And so when we borrowed Jess's dad's Denali, whatever, high, super duper best truck ever thing that he has, it's a 1500 Denali. And it has all of the boxes checked, all the bells and whistles. So it's got all the cameras. It's got the automatic start and stop. It's got the adaptive cruise. It's got the lane assist. It's got all that bullshit. It's got the fancy tailgate like that. And we drove it because her parents were, this is back when we were in Des Moines even, and her parents were there, and we're like, so her dad always has me drive because I'm familiar with Des Moines. And so we drove it, like we went out to dinner and like around the city and stuff. And then by the time we got back, I turned to Jess, I was like, this truck is so much nicer than mine. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I don't like the way it drives. I don't like all this shit, and I don't like the tail. Like, it's just like, this has $30,000 worth of stuff I don't want at all. Mm-hmm. Maybe, actually, it could have been $50,000. It's got $50,000 worth of stuff that makes it an $80,000 truck compared to my $30,000 truck, and I would choose my $30,000 truck every time.
Yep.
Like, this is no value to me.
Yeah. The only thing that one had on it that I would have gone back and tried harder to find one, but I don't think I could have without adding a bunch to it, was adaptive cruise. And
if I had adaptive cruise, I would like it. If it came with a heated steering wheel, I wouldn't complain. And if it had cooled seats, those are the three things that stick out to me as like, these would have been nice to have. I'm not mad I don't have them, but it'd be nice to have.
Yep.
So I do lean on the adaptive cruise when I'm in Jess's Bronco.
My day to day, I don't get in that many situations where it would be useful because there's just enough traffic that I would be continually turning it off anyway because I don't trust it.
I've learned to trust hers, but yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, the one in Jen's Blazer, if somebody like changes lanes in front of you too much, like it will like stuff the brake on you for a second, scare the living crap out of you. So
that one gets me in trouble because I'll lean on the adaptive cruise, but then if it thinks we're about to hit something, or actually even if it's not in the adaptive cruise mode, like if it thinks we're about to hit a curb or something in front of us, or like if it thinks I'm taking a corner too quickly and something's right there, like it thinks I'm going to hit that tree, it'll hit the brakes for you and then like pop up on the screen a warning of imminent crash, and like it beeps at you, and then she yells at me because I'm driving like a maniac, and I was like, no, this I was completely in control.
This is back to the old saying, everyone that drives slower than you is an effing moron. Yes. And everyone that drives faster than you is a maniac.
That's true.
That was a George Carlin thing.
It's true. Oh God.
So, yep. In summary, the 5.3, I like it.
Yep. Good.
I did so that one got like, I looked at because it does in the dash, it'll do your mileage for that trip, like every time you drive.
Oh, like from when you start to when you finish?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And then you have two like trip odometers that you can set, but they're just there's one that just does it for each time you drive it.
Okay. And
I always look at that on mine and see like what it got for a drive, because you can tell like, oh, I was driving into the wind on the way home. It got like 18.5, or
sure.
The wind was behind me a lot on that one. I got like 21.5 or something like that. Well, the diesel got like 25.7 on the way to work. I was like, oh, that's nice. That would be nice.
Yep.
Of course, the diesel's also like 75 cents or $1 higher than what 87 is around here.
And it's usually worse than that.
I looked at the one like in our neighborhood on the way home, and it wasn't that far off right now, but
yeah.
And then also like putting def in it every so often.
That would be annoying.
Also, however much more it is for an oil change versus a regular one, because I know it's a decent amount more. Like, I don't think it's all going to add up. And then I got in mine and I drove it the 60 some odd miles home to get from the dealer, and it averaged 22 on that drive. So I was like, okay, I don't mind anymore.
It's fine. It's fine. It's not worth the difference.
Yeah. So, and just, I opened the hood on that thing and it's like, oh, there's this big hot turbo up here sitting on top of everything, and there's just kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, I don't know diesel enough that like with the that was kind of one of the things with the when I bought mine too. Is like I'm getting the highest capable gas that I can get, 1500, because I just don't want to deal with a diesel. Because I'm not the type to bring it in. I'm gonna deal with it. Like, if it's a problem, I'm gonna do what I can to fix it.
Yeah, it scares me a little bit whenever it's a factory vehicle and it has two EGT sensors on it after the turbo.
Yep.
Like, why? Why?
Why do we have so many sensors? Yeah.
Which I read at one point that the 4-cylinder makes like 28 pounds of boost or something like that. I just like,
that's a lot of boost.
I don't need to live with something that's not a race car that makes 28 pounds of boost. I just don't.
Yeah, don't blame you.
So yeah, it's about the extent of my excitement.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm in 2026 mode already, just kind of thinking about what I want to do for next year and planning ahead on that. And
you're just watching that video of Sasha's 350 on the dyno making 530 to the wheels over and over again, right?
I don't want to tell you how many times I've watched that. A lot. It's a lot.
I wasn't even at Lime Rock, and I'm bummed that they weren't able to make it with that car.
Agreed. I love that car. But hopefully next week we got Adam back, that he's in good spirits, and that he's over this whole like backache that he keeps complaining about. So we'll be back to normal. We'll catch everybody.
Maybe he'll be on pain meds, and it'll be a lot more interesting.
That's what I was kind of hoping.
What it normally is.
I was hoping he'd be on pain meds tonight, that he'd be like, yeah, I'm feeling great, guys. Let's do a show. But to no surprise, he's probably not feeling up to it. So, yeah. But we'll catch him and everyone else next week.